2nd at 6:30 p.m. Please stand for our pledge and then remain standing afterwards for our invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Almighty God, our Father, we come before you again this evening, as we do all times, seeking wisdom and guidance and knowledge. And Father, first of all, thank you for your protection. Thank you for those who serve this community, to serve and protect. God, would your strength be upon them. And Father, as we continue to look forward to the children being out of school in another month, we pray that our children will do well in their classes, that they will exceed and beyond their own expectations. But Father, we thank you for how you've blessed us as a community. Let us continue to grow in grace and wisdom, in prosperity, in all those areas, Father, which will honor you. Thank you in Jesus' name.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you all. Please be seated.
Amen.
Mr. January, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. President. Vice President Neal.
Here.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards.
Present.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton.
Present.
Councilwoman Uselak.
Here.
Councilman Pettit.
Here.
Councilwoman Hardaway. President Bella.
Here. I did hear from Councilor Hardaway, and she's ill tonight. She won't be here. 6 present. Thank you.
6 President.
Moving on tonight to petitions, communications, acknowledgements, and remonstrations. We have a new police officer being sworn in tonight, the swearing in of Officer Ryan O'Hearn. And if that's him, Costa, he's a little young for a badge. I know we have a shortage, but please come forward, sir. Mr. January?
Yes. I've got to say, he should be on a GQ magazine.
Yeah.
Merrillville's finest already. It's all right. All right, oath of office. Just repeat after me, sir. I, Ryan O'Hearn, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Indiana, and I will faithfully, diligently, and impartially discharge my duties as a police officer of the town of Merrillville, Indiana, according to law and to the best of my ability. So help me God. Welcome to the force.
All right.
Just want to give everybody a little bit of information on our new hire. It's Ryan O'Hearn. He comes to us from Commerce City, Colorado Police Department. Is that correct? He's got some years of experience under his belt, and along with that experience comes his time as a accident reconstructionist. So we picked up a pretty a good pick here. So welcome aboard, and looking forward to having you work with us. Thank you.
Awesome. Moving on tonight to the Employee of the Month for April, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to ask the Parks and Recreation Director to please join me. As you know, I love this part of the job, and I really am proud to serve in a community led by these elected policymakers that keeps this tradition up. And by the way, when we distinguish one worker each month with this award. We're not diminishing the others that aren't being recognized in that particular month. It elevates the whole that we're doing it at all. And so tonight, we're going to recognize a worker in the Parks and Recreation Department, particularly somebody who serves at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center, and her name, I believe, is Aaliyah Wright. Do I have that correct? Ms. Wright, will you come join us, please? Given the nature of the work over there, next to sometimes what police and firefighters may encounter when they're doing some of our most difficult work, and sometimes people aren't happy to see them, like when they're pulling me over for speeding, I just try to find happiness, but I cannot. Sometimes people come to the community center and aren't always pleasant. And yet our staff has been encouraged to remain pleasant no matter what. In fact, it was Mahatma Gandhi, actually it was Mohandas K. Gandhi, Mahatma's a title. Gandhi's the one who said that if you wish to find yourself, you must first lose yourself in service to others. We think that Ms. Wright does a great job finding herself by losing herself in service to others. So I'm going to ask our relatively still new Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. McCartney, if he would read the actual citation, please, to Ms. Wright.
Aaliyah has been working for the town of Merrillville since March of 2021. She works at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center as a front desk attendant. She has proven herself to be a very reliable employee and is a wonderful asset to the team. Aaliyah is a very dependable worker and takes tremendous pride in her work.
Ms. Wright, congratulations. Did you need a picture of the good-looking ones, and I can get out?
Thank you. Congratulations, too. Moving on tonight to the consent agenda, we have the accounts payable register voucher approval for April 22nd, the ARPA accounts payable register voucher for the same date, and the approval of the town council meeting minutes of April 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Uselak, seconded by
Chandler.
Councilor Chandler. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Moving on tonight to presentation of declarations. I'm going to call on Leona to bring up the sorority that's going to read the dedication tonight.
I'd like to present the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the Gamma Rho chapter. They have been doing community services, and they will be planting trees in the town of Merrillville on Arbor Day this Friday. So I will allow them, if they would, go ahead and read the declaration and give us a few words afterwards. Go ahead.
All right. Town of Merrillville proclamation. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that this special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy, spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the town council of the town of Merrillville that Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 be designated as Arbor Day in the town of Merrillville, Indiana, and call upon the citizens of Merrillville to dedicate this day to the importance of health, safety, and environmental issues affecting our community and the children who reside with all of us.
My name is Tanya Burns. I am the president of Alpha Gamma Rho Omega chapter. We are a newly chartered chapter in Merrillville, Crown Point, and Schererville. One of our initiatives is Enhance Our Environment, and that focuses on tree planting, where we will, chapters will track and measure the collective environmental impact of our largest tree planting effort to date. So far, organization-wide, we have planted about 22,000 trees. This Friday, we are giving to the town of Merrillville 20 trees. They are redwood and blackwood oak trees that we will be planting. Alongside myself, this is our program chair, Jamaica Lott, our publicist, Rashana Richardson, Vicki Robinson, who is the chair of this particular initiative, and then we have Denise Watson, who's also in our chapter.
Very good. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the Arbor Day declaration.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the Arbor Day declaration, I should say. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Leona, for that.
You're welcome.
Moving on tonight to the standing committee reports, Budget and Finance, Counselor Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. The grant program has officially closed, and I'll just give a brief overview of it. The town of Merrillville, through the Federal American Rescue Plan, the ARP grant funds provided a grant match program for homeowners and businesses. They can seek financial assistance to rehabilitate and restore existing structures on their property. Over the last several years, through the two different versions of the programs, over $210,000 was used as matching funds to assist 38 different homeowners and 10 different businesses in the town. The last grant match payment has been made. The program is officially closed now, but we were very successful with that. These various improvements have helped increase the property value, the curb appeal, and overall just the pride in the town of Merrillville.
Great.
And that's all for my budget report.
Thank you. Street Department and Park Maintenance, Mrs. Uzelak.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Steve King, the director, has informed me they are still picking up garbage that falls off the garbage trucks, waste management. They are still doing street sweeping, and I've gotten a few calls from Heritage Subdivision that's in the 4th Ward regarding speed bumps, which they have been put up. And all the speed bumps should be put up by tomorrow, from what I understand. And that's my report. Thank you.
Great. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, we should be done tomorrow. We're waiting on one location. And as soon as I get that, we'll install the last speed humps for now. We still have a few left, not many,
Great.
but there's a couple left.
Very good. Thank you. Council Affairs, Counselor Pettit.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm calling a Council Affairs Committee meeting for Tuesday, March 6th at 5:30. Michael had given me a memo of draft ordinances. I know, Chief, that Lori has got some ordinances for PD.
Let's verify, May.
May 6th, I'm sorry, what did I
Not
say?
March.
March, May,
We're not going back.
November, May 6th, I'm sorry. Well, it threw me off because we don't have a planning commission that night, so, May 6th at 5:30. And, Joe, I'll get you a copy of this memo. There will be one proposed ordinance that Jerry and Michael and I have been working on, that the committee members for the Dean and Barbara White Community Center, I'm jumping ahead, Mr. President, I apologize, but there's a very important ordinance that Michael has drafted that we're going to be discussing at that Thursday meeting that will also be on this agenda.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Griffin, do you have anything for personnel policy and employee benefits?
Mr. President, I appreciate being asked. I did confer with the absent councilwoman, and she said she had nothing to report as well for this evening.
Very good, thank you. Environmental Affairs, Mrs. Uselak.
Oh, no report tonight, thank you.
Anything under Public Safety, Mr. Griffin?
Mr. President, she also reported there was nothing that she had to report for that this evening as well.
Thank you, sir. Elections, Public Relations, and Town Beautification, Councilor Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. I don't have any updates. If Steve want to just update us on what's going on with the with the flowers.
Call me to the park.
He's like, what?
So the plants are still growing in the Mo's building. We actually started working in the planters a couple weeks ago, prepping them for planting. They actually did some planting today. They removed some existing, I'm going to call them hydrangeas. I really don't know what they are, but hydrangeas were removed from some existing gateway signs and moved into the planters since the gateway signs are going to be removed. I told them don't take them all because I'm not sure how many we're going to get this year. So hanging baskets have been ordered, and that's about it.
Is there a time frame that those are going to go out, like in the middle of May, by Memorial Day?
The baskets?
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Trey. Whenever they come in, I don't even know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm not sure.
That's all. President Bella,
Thank you.
thank you.
Did we get the 2 gateway signs ordered? The 2 we're going to sample?
As far as I
Yes.
know, we did.
They are?
Yeah, they've
Oh,
been
great.
ordered.
Super.
Yes.
Are you sure they were ordered?
We didn't take council action, I don't believe, to approve it.
Mr. President, because one of the ways in which we're paying for it was redevelopment commission, I believe they took
We
action.
took action.
Oh, okay.
And we split the cost between, in the 2 samples we received the invoice, we split the cost between the redevelopment commission and identified appropriations in the town administration site, because we're just wanting to be sure that we weren't spending in a way that the allocation areas wouldn't permit. And we treated them like samples. We're as eager to see them come in as possible.
Yeah.
I believe that has been processed either at the last meeting or this one, that invoice, and our hope is that we'll see them soon.
Great, thank you, sir. Anything else, Rhonda?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Economic Development, Mr. Pettit.
Yes, Mr. President, we had a redevelopment commission meeting before this to approve a resolution that establishes a timetable that was presented to the RDC at the workshop last week that goes into a proposed redevelopment authority bond issue, which will take the second phase of the street paving. It will take care of the fire station on the south side on Colorado and also the reconstruction of Whitcomb Street. So I think just about everybody was there, heard the presentations from everyone, Robinson Engineering and American Structure Point, and Steve went through the paving list, checked, everyone got their paving lists in the packet. I noticed that they're already out back paving again, right, Steve?
Yep.
That is on last year's fall list that we did the $6 million on. And then there'll be, when this bond issue is done, there'll be another $6 million that will take care of what we affectionately refer to as the ones and twos, which totals about $12.2 million in road resurfacing in the local road and streets and some frontage roads. So that's all.
Thank you. Utility Liaison, Councilor Chandler Felton.
The only report I have, President Bella, is that I've reached out to Ms. Barber at NIPSCO, haven't received a return phone call as of yet, but that's about it.
Okay, very good. Parks, Recreation, and Dean and Barbara White Community Center, Mr. Pettit.
Yes, Mr. President, we have a committee meeting. I have an engagement at 6 o'clock, so I moved it up. Jerry and I talked, and I presented Jerry and Michael with a draft agenda, ladies, that are on the committee, Shauna and Margie. I don't know if, and obviously anyone's welcome to attend, and I encourage them to attend. Going to be discussing the rock climbing wall. We're going to be discussing the flooring. We're going to look at the projects in the recently adopted 5-year master plan. And I'm trying to remember, Jerry, what else I had on that list.
The park board.
The park board. And then obviously we need to get into some sponsorships. We have 2 large sponsors in the center that we have unfortunately found out we're going to have issues with, and Joe's been watching the sponsorship dollars as they go into legacy. All the sponsors that have paid would be paid through the end of February of next year. They did a 5-year commitment, so Jerry and I are going to be, and Michael are going to be looking into those with the committee as well, so it could be a full meeting before the NFL draft.
Let's be clear, when you say issues, these are companies that are no longer going to sponsor because they're going out of business or.
They're going out of business and
Ownership, yeah.
their change of ownerships, yes. Mhm.
What is the date?
What's that? The date of the meeting is this Thursday at 4 o'clock,
Okay, thank you.
4 to 6.
Anything else, Sean?
That's all.
Very good. Moving on tonight to special committees, abandoned and blighted properties. Counselor Haynes Edwards.
Thank you, President Bella. At this time, the only report I have is that Code has been going around and putting out the warnings and the tickets now that the spring has arrived. So they are back on duty, and we will resume court that we pushed last week due to Easter. It will be coming up. We rescheduled it. If Mr. Griffin has anything to add to that, then that is my report.
Thank you.
Okay.
Special town projects, Vice President Neal.
Thank you, President Bella. We are fastly approaching our July 4th parade. The information is out on the town website. The parade is going to take place on July 4th. That's on a Friday. And this year, we are having a sensory-sensitive zone, a sensory-friendly zone. That is an area where during the parade, they will refrain from using any type of sirens and loud noises or any other high-volume effects, and that is for people who are sensitive to loud sounds. That portion of the parade is going to be on 80th Place between Madison and Broadway. Once they complete that, then they will be allowed to use all of the sounds that we normally use in a parade. The parade will start on 80th Place, and it will go back up to 66th Place on Broadway. That is the traditional route that Merrillville used to do with the parade. So in essence, it's just, if you were there last year, it's just kind of going backwards. So we can add in the sensory-friendly zone. Also, we are still planning for our Juneteenth. Our Juneteenth celebration will be held at the Barbara and Dean Center, and we're, as we were planning before, the sneaker ball, that is still the exact same event that we were going to do. It was just moved to Juneteenth, and you'll see more information about that also. You can also go to town events at merrillville.in.gov if you're looking for more information on town events.
Thank you. The Semi-Quincentennial Committee, Counselor Shi.
Thank you, President Bella. Starting in June, I will be getting a committee. We will start getting the committee together for the semi-quincentennial event. So we will be looking for residents, volunteers who would like to be a part of this committee. That is all for my report.
Thank you. Moving on tonight to Department and Commission reports, Stormwater Management Resources. Our director is Matt Lake.
Thank you. The entire day, I was with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management with Rob Beck. He's their stormwater specialist. We had a very intense MS4 program compliance audit. Came through it very well. And again, it's something I enjoy because it just validates the things that we're doing and we're on the right track. And I think we're one of the first to be audited for this round in the region. So we kind of set the stage there. We are going to be having a training session. I called Jerry, our Parks Director, and we're going to be having a pruning workshop. This is for community orchard maintenance and care. So this relates to our U.S. Forest Service grant and the trees that we planted in the 2 orchards. So I gave this to Chaz to put on the website, so anybody that wants to attend can attend. It'll be at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center, May 15th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. Also got a letter from the National Arbor Day Foundation. We are a Tree City USA again. got the designation 15 years.
Wow, congrats.
So again, something we've continued on year after year. It's good to have some recognition for the town of Merrillville. And we could put these on the signs. Usually they put them on there. And we also have a Growth Award one as well we could add to it. Arbor Day, Friday, as it was mentioned, we've got the Alpha Kappa Alpha, the Alpha Gamma Rho Omega chapter. We're planning on Rosenbaum Park on Friday at 10 o'clock. And they have the trees to plant. I got a flag for you guys, a Tree City USA flag for you guys. So you could take that before you leave and bring it with you to the Arbor Day event. And so we'll have a good time and plant some trees and, help out the environment all we can. On the April 16th meeting of the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission, they've officially approved $39,265 towards our stormwater master plan update. So we'll be getting those contracts signed and get Christopher Burke off and running to update that particular document. And Grimmer's going to be starting back up on 69th Connecticut tomorrow. They got some spot areas to finish up and some site restoration, and then that project will be complete. That's all.
Thank you, Matt. Moving on to Lake County Solid Waste Management District, Councilor Neal.
Thank you, President Bello. The latex paint collection is scheduled for Saturday, May 10th from 9 to 1 at 8695 Broadway. The residential compost is now available. You have to contact Lake County Solid Waste to have an appointment to pick it up. That is free for residents. You can get 1 cubic foot, I believe. And the household hazardous waste collection, there actually have 2 scheduled for the month of May. May 14th, it will be at Hobart Public Works. The time is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's a very different time than what they have the other one, so just make note of that. On May 31st, it will be held in Gary at Hudson and Campbell, and that is the usual time from 9 to 1. And we have a meeting scheduled the 3rd Thursday in May. And that's all.
Thank you. Is there anything else to report, Mrs. Neal, on the Fire Territory Board? I think you had a meeting.
No report.
No, okay. Thank you. Mr. January, how are we doing in the Clerk Treasurer's Office, sir?
Doing great. I've got a great team. They're doing a great job. I'm really proud of them. And just some statistics for the quarter and for the month. For the month of March, our payroll was $931,729.28. For the quarter, the payroll for the entire town was $3,400,281.26. And in terms of revenue for the entire quarter, revenue, just deposits. It's not necessarily money that we've earned or taxes that we've collected, but it's revenue, deposits. $10,288,767.19, and we've dispersed $16,746,030.51, and we finished off the quarter with $44,068.30, divided between the court, the fire department, the general fund, and the obligated, non-obligated funds, PD, police department, RDA, stormwater, and et cetera. But the town is in good shape. We haven't had any instances, knock on wood, of anybody trying to steal some, this fake would it do? Nobody has been trying to get any false checks through the system. Positive Pay is working good. So, but that's the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority, and our representative is Deanne Patina. Hi, Dan.
Good evening. I'm Deanne Patina, the President and CEO of Crossroads Chamber and the Merrillville Town Representative on the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority Tourism Board. So I'm just going to give a little update on some numbers in Merrillville, travel numbers. So the South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority is a sales and marketing organization that leads the hospitality industry and aids its partners through the development and support of attractions throughout the region. In 2024, the South Shore CVA hosted 75 amateur and collegiate and professional sporting events, over 64,000 participants, generating more than $41 million in economic impact for the region. Merrillville had, between the statistics highlight the growth of tourism and the insight on visitor trends and the behavior in Merrillville from October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. Merrillville had 2,323,155 trips, which means when a family comes to the area, that's a trip. And those total visitors stayed 5,531 days at an average length of stay of 2.4 days. The South Shore CVA generated 131 million tourism tax revenue in Lake County. Visitor spending was $1.24 billion in 2022 in Lake County. 16,551 total jobs supported by tourism. 848 million total economic impact of tourism in Lake County. 52,643 additional room demands from 2019 to 2023. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Deanna, what is the number one draw to Lake County? What's drawing people to actually come visit this area?
Well, right now, the biggest draw for the tourism is our sports centers with all the facilities, including your beautiful Dean and Barbara White Community Center. So right now, they concentrate on a lot on sporting events, big sporting events that take a lot of the area with, currently with the Radisson been down now for a while, huh? Almost, yeah. Unfortunately, there isn't a ton of opportunity for convention, business to come this way, but they do support conventions and use independent banquet centers with hotels for overnights for convention centers that have interest in coming to Merrillville. And then just in general, just for not the lake and that, but the dunes is really the most popular reason why people come to Northwest Indiana. And their travel here impacts the whole area.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanne.
Thank you. I'll just leave these up here for you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much. Moving on tonight to department reports, Parks and Recreations. Jerry.
Yes, a few updates. ICC Floors Plus has came in and measured the flex room and the community room, along with the other two, the teen room, and all the floors that need changed over where the Boys and Girls Club is currently occupying. So the next step is this Friday. We are visiting their showroom. We're going to pick out some flooring, and then next steps will be to install. So I'll have a better update for that in a couple weeks. Another update, the 5-year Master Parks Plan has officially been submitted, so that's really exciting. I know that took a long part of the year to get finished before I was even here. So current programs, we have our youth basketball league, youth football league, registration still open, as well as dance programs for adult and youth age groups. Volleyball registration is over, but any teams that come as a full team are still able to sign up for the league starting May 2nd. We have yoga programs for youth and adults that are currently registering. And then we have a painting ceramics class Saturday, April 26th, ages 5 through 8, and then also ages 9 through 13. And then also have a meeting Thursday regarding the rock wall with core construction. So I'll have some updates on that too for Thursday. That's it.
Jerry, all these programs are listed on the town's website, correct?
Correct. If you go to the town's website, it'll take you to Rec Desk, our Rec Desk page, where it has all the information on the classes as well as how you can directly register for those programs. Also, feel free to stop into the Dean and Barbara White Community Center for more information.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, Leona.
Are there any male volleyball teams?
All male or, it's all co-ed right now.
Okay, it's co-ed, okay,
Males can participate, obviously, but it's not all one or the other.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Police Department, Chief Nusis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll start off with March's numbers for our statistics. For the month of March, we responded to 2,731 calls for service, which equates to 4,615 officer responses. That's something that I feel is important to add, and I can just brush up on it again and let everybody know, not every single call that we answer is a one-officer call. A lot of them require 2, 3, sometimes 4. But on average, we responded to 4,615. There's 4,615 officer responses. We had a total of 468 traffic stops with 352 citations that were issued. We had 10 OWI arrests. We had 101 adult arrests and 1 juvenile arrest. That concludes my report as far as our statistics go. I want to thank everybody that came out and visited with us at Panera Bread for the coffee with a cop. It was great to see everybody and talk to everybody and meet all the people of the town that did attend. And it was a perfect opportunity for us to get to know each other on a more personal level. We are also going to be hosting a community night chat with Merrillville PD. It's going to be at the Dean and Barbara White Community Center on May 22nd from 6 p. to 8 p. We're going to have a couple of our officers from different specialties like K-9 and some of the cool stuff that people have interest in, so they can check it out. And then we'll have a question and answer starting at 7 p.m. so everybody can get kind of an idea of what we're doing. We're trying to find a theme as far as what we want to kind of educate the public. The goal here is that the more the public knows as to how we operate, the more we add to our team, because there's a lot more of the public out there than there is officers. So it is a team effort, and that's something that we'd like to enhance our relations with. Lastly, I just want to touch once again on that Senate Bill 1 that I talked to for the 2025 Senate Bill 1. It looks as if it was passed, or I'm sorry, it was signed by the governor, and it looks like it's going to go into effect. And this is something that we are looking at and trying to prepare for, and this is going to be a hurdle for us. It appears that as if Merrillville and Highland are going to get hit the hardest when it comes to public safety. This was I don't think this was very well thought through by whoever did it downstate, but we're going to continue to figure out ways that we can continue to provide the safety and service to the people of Merrillville. Thank you.
Chief, one question. Explain, please, why so many of our calls now require more than one officer. That seems like something that's new to town.
So there's no real basic call. Any call can go sideways at any given time, especially when you have domestics, especially when you have suspicious persons, alarm calls by, you're never supposed to respond to an alarm by yourself. You're always supposed to respond with another officer. So given that most of these calls require more than one officer, this is what's, this is why we have to have the response that we do, and this is what drives our numbers up. But some of these calls they're serious calls. You never know what you're going to anticipate.
Thank you, Chief. Planning and Building Department, Sheila Shine.
Mr. President, I just have a small report that I want to remind everyone of, and I know I've said it before, but please, please check to make sure your contractor is licensed before you have him or her do work in your home. Please don't give them money, and please don't give people money that come up to your door and knock and say, I'm doing work here. I can give you a great deal. Please don't give those people money. Tell them, take their information, tell them you'll call them back if you would like to use them. And I reiterate this because we've had 3 residents that's given money, and Dan, myself, and Mr. Bob Pillman, we are trying to track those individuals down, but please don't do that. Call us, and we'll do all we can in the Planning and Building Department to help you with your repair or get your estimate done at your house. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Sheila.
Can I just add?
Mr. January.
Yes. Ms. Shine, just to chime into what you just said, there is an 82-year-old lady out in Washington State that hired a contractor. He had some sort of criminal background. She disappeared. the man killed her. So you really have to check the contractors if they got some sort of criminal violation. Some people want to believe in second chances, but I believe you need to really be careful because that lady is dead because she trusted the wrong person. Found her buried underneath a shed that he built.
Thank you, Mr. January. Mr. King, anything else to add in the street department? No, you've.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Griffin, town manager.
Mr. President, members of the council, thank you. You do have before you a report compiled by the administrative manager of the town administration office that includes the contributions of all of the department heads pursuant to section 2-339.1 in our code, which provided that we should have monthly staff reports. I did want to let you all know that we're moving the staff meeting. The staff meeting had been moved to 12:30, the first Wednesday following the second meeting of the month. We're going to move that to Thursday of this week, also at 12:30, to accommodate another meeting that we have to have tomorrow. I'm hopeful that all the department heads will be there. We're going to brief on Senate Bill 1. I just want to say that as a taxpayer, I welcome tax relief. So the objective of tax relief is not something that any of us really oppose. We're a little surprised that they took this step. If some of the early reports are correct, over the 2-year period that this will be in effect, it could be a $5.8 million estimate of loss of property taxes. Now, our max levy is around $8.4 million. So that represents about 73% of our maximum levy, or 37% each year of loss. And you know, our property taxes largely support public safety here, and a little bit goes to debt service and not much else. So it is concerning to us. I had heard some heartening things from leadership, particularly on Ways and Means, that they knew that Lake County had some special issues here because of tax caps impact. And their hope is that we can meet with them before the short session, and maybe they can get something passed quickly that would help us as we go into 2026. But I'll know more after I listen to the briefing we're going to get tomorrow from AIM, which I will be sharing with the department heads. Unless there's a particular question about the report you have before you or something else that may be on your mind, I'll be very pleased to be seated.
Mr. Griffin, explain what AIM means, please.
Thank you. AIM stands for Accelerate Indiana Municipalities. It is our advocacy and municipal association for the state of Indiana. That title is about 9 years old. Previously, and since inception, they were previously called the Indiana Association of Cities and Towns. It is one of the 3 oldest municipal associations in the country, and it was responsible, among those leagues, for forming what became the League of Cities, which doesn't mean just cities. It really should be called the League of Municipalities at the national level. And they're our advocate. They do a lot of advocacy for us. They do a lot of training, and they do have an annual conference that helps let us know about new laws and new ways to serve.
And we are members of that organization.
We are members of AIM, yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on tonight to general orders. We have only a resolution tonight on the agenda. It is Resolution 25-21. It's a resolution providing for a transfer of appropriation balances from and among major budget classifications in the office of the town court in the general fund as requested by the proper officer and forwarded to the town council for its action pursuant to Indiana code. This is a decrease of $5,284 in the general part-time secretary line item and an increase of the same amount in contractual services. The net effect is 0. We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Shi, seconded by Councilor Uzelak. Questions or comments on this transfer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. The motion carries, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Moving on to Ms. Shine, we have a variance of approval usage report.
Yes. So our first petitioner for the BZA and large gathering, Mr. President, that's what you're asking for? Toomey for health,
variance of use approval to allow a crematorium at 8560 Broadway in the C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District.
I think that we had talked about this petitioner, and I know I talked to Mr. Pettit. What I would like to do is entertain a motion to defer this for now, so allow us some time to gather more information about this new usage coming into our town, or that wants to come to town.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Pettit and a second by Counselor Uselak to defer this. Joe, do we have to designate a days? How many days? Or just-
No, you can just defer it until next meeting,
Okay.
whatever meeting you see fit.
Any questions or comments on the motion to defer? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That motion carries. Ms. Cheyenne, we're going to defer that. Please let the petitioner know, and we'll be in touch to gather more information.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Our second petitioner is Lorraine and Nathaniel Jelks, Special exception approval to allow a daycare center at 8808 Tyler Street. Mrs. Jelks and Mr. Jelks, could you please approach the podium? Petitioner is requesting special exception approval from Section 21-136 in a C3 Highway Commercial Zoning District to operate Laura Leanne's Teeny Tots Incorporated Daycare at 8008 Tyler Street. Previously, petitioner operated an adult daycare. Now petitioner is seeking to operate in a 2,800 square feet space, a daycare for children. Said daycare will have 3 employees on staff and be open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., but closed on Saturday and Sunday. Daycare will service children ages 2 through 12 years old, and there will be 15 to 20 children attending the daycare. The daycare will put on emphasis on daily learning, comfort, and safety, but provide fun-filled group activities while providing a nurturing environment. Petitioner has outlined curriculum for the children to include math, language, science, and physical skills, etc. The petitioner states that the establishment and maintenance of the operation of the proposed special exceptional use will not be detrimental or endanger the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare in accordance with the comprehensive plan, because the daycare will follow all the town rules and regulations. The daycare will follow all the state rules to operate a daycare. There is a safety plan for the children to enter and exit the building. The proposed variance of use will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and moral or general welfare of the community, because the daycare will not disrupt other businesses in the area. The establishment of the special exception approval proposal will not impede the normal or orderly development and improvement of the surrounding properties for the use permitted in the district. The daycare will operate on petitioner's property. The daycare will not obstruct or hinder other businesses. Adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary are already in existence. Adequate ingress and egress as well. The parking is adequate for the daycare center, and it's for this petitioner only, at this location only, and for this use only. Mr. President, as with all daycares and members of the council, as with all daycares, they seek approval from the town, and after they get the approval from the town, the state will come in and inspect, and also our fire marshal and the state fire marshal inspects the facility at the very same time before they can open. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments for the petitioner? I think this is your district, right, Leona?
No, I don't have any. I guess maybe the only question I would have you operated a daycare before? I know it was
An
adult
adult
daycare.
daycare, correct.
Will you still operate that adult daycare?
No, we closed it January 31st of this year.
Okay.
I have a question. What's the transition? Why are you transitioning from adults to children?
With adults, the clients were like up and down, and then when they switched over in July of 2024 with the insurances, they were really slow in paying. I did not receive payments until like March of 2025, which backdated from September, October, November, December. Could not run a daycare with non-payment. We operated as long as we could using our own funds. And then we had a decline in the clients. So we just made a decision to close it.
What's the maximum amount of children that you could have here?
15 to 20.
Thank you.
And will you have your license now, your Indiana state license for
Well,
the
we have-
daycare?
We have to, I got the Indiana state already.
Pardon?
I have the state license already.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in here. Counselor Shi?
And do you already have children lined up for your daycare, or will you be soliciting?
We're starting to solicit now. I just received all of my flyers, all of my cards. And then we'll proceed once we get the, okay here. And then I have to go through the early child development to actually get the paperwork from them. And then we will get furnished and open up.
Last question, will you be offering transportation, or this is a pickup, drop-off only?
It's pick up and drop off. However, I do have transportation because I had it with the adult daycare.
Okay.
With the 3 employees that you're looking to hire, will you be using that transportation for children? And will you be employing a driver?
I have a driver.
Okay.
Anything else from the council? Ms. Leona, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
You have a motion and a second for approval. Questions or comments on the motion?
Mr. President, Mr. and Mrs. Jelks, you were also assisting us or Webb Hyundai in the vacation of the right-of-way, were they not, Sheila?
Yes.
They were here before us before.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
This is an existing building.
Yes.
It's right in back of Webb Hyundai, north of Webb Hyundai.
Correct.
Correct? Okay.
Same street. Yeah.
And also, one last thing, Sheila, with these daycares, is the BZA recommending, what are we doing with the camera ordinance?
So the camera ordinance, the BZA recommends a camera ordinance, but also you, working with the clerk treasurer's office and issuing license, you can't get any kind of license in the town of Merrillville unless you have a camera. That's
Okay.
part of the application process.
Okay.
All right.
Do cameras on your phone count?
No.
No.
Anything else from the council? Hearing nothing else, Mr. January, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Vice President Neal,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haynes Edwards,
Aye.
Councilwoman Chandler Felton,
Aye.
Councilwoman Uselak,
Yes.
Councilman Pettit,
Yes.
President Bella,
Aye.
6 in favor.
6 in favor, motion carries. Congratulations. Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much.
Good luck.
You're welcome. Praise the Lord.
Just have a few more minutes, Counselor, if you don't just.
Yeah, it's the nameplates today.
We have no old business or new business tonight. Moving on to public comment. Public comment, please state your name and address. Come up to the podium and maybe form a line, if you don't mind.
Here we go.
Good evening, Council. My name is Robert Buggs, and my daughter was supposed to speak, but Mr. Bella said that the Merrillville Pop Warner was not their concern. I disagree with that because if you leasing something, then you're responsible for your tenant, especially if your tenant is breaking the law and denying due process. I'm going to read a letter from the Merrillville Pop Warner, and it says, "Dear Melissa," which is my daughter, "the purpose of this letter is to inform you that a decision has been made to suspend your ability as well as that of Aiden Smith, Ethan Smith, Ariel Jones, Aaron Jones Smith and Amir Jones Smith. Will you all stand up? These are my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He goes on to say that if you are seen on the premises, it will be considered trespassing and you will be removed by law enforcement, which will be the Merrillville law enforcement, because I don't think he's going to call the FBI or the Lake County Sheriff's Department. The decision was made by the board of the Merrillville Pop Warner. It was determined that your conduct was detrimental to the organization. Now, Will Akins, Merrillville Pop Warner, and Secretary Tammy Merrill, Merrillville Pop Warner. Now, there's a lot of businesses that leasing from the town of Merrillville, and they don't have preceded by Merrillville. So, Mr. Bell, I disagree with you when you say that you don't have anything to do with it. So I'm here today to file an official complaint that you take some corrective actions of your tenant threatening to arrest my grandchildren on a that's public property. But Mr. Will Akins said that he's going to call the Merrillville police to have them arrested for trespassing. Now, he didn't say what they had done. So I want to know what authority that gives him to make that kind of a statement. Now, although you continue to say that, well, we just rented him the space, you are responsible for the actions of your tenant. If your tenant is doing something adverse to the citizens, they live in Merrillville, I live in Gary. Now, what they have done is say if they're seen on the premises, he's going to call law enforcement, the Merrillville police officers, to remove them. What have they done? They was playing football, and my granddaughter was on the cheer team. Now, my daughter came in to explain what was going on, but Mr. Bello said, shut her down. She was here before, said they had nothing to do with this. But she was going to explain for the rest of y'all what the issue was, and I thought that you all should hear it. But he said no. She said that she was here once before, and he shut her down. So I'm here filing an official complaint asking you all to seek some corrective actions of your tenant, the Merrillville Pop Warner. Because what they're doing is wrong. And I mean, when he threatened to, I have some concerns about that. Arrested my great-grandkids and my grandkids and my daughter.
Mr. Buggs, I promise you, we'll look into it, and what I meant earlier is that we don't operate the Pop Warner team. They just rent space from us. That's what I meant.
I know, but it's your tenant. You're leasing the town.
But a tenant also has rights too, and if they have to run their program, they have a right to run their program. But we're going to look into it, I promise you that, and I'll get back to you, sir.
Well, okay, if that tenant damaged Dean White Center, then you would break that lease. That tenant, if he damaged some property that's owned by Merrillville.
If things would happen where he broke his lease, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I said if
Right.
you found out that he was doing that, then you would evict that tenant. That's what I'm saying.
We're going to look into this. You kind of blindsided
Well, I
us
appreciate it
tonight.
because I think that this letter should be withdrawn because it got all of their names on it.
Yep, I saw
If
that.
they're seen on the premises. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but that is public property. So you telling me that if they are seen watching a game or something, that they're going to be removed by Merrillville police officers?
Yeah, that does seem odd.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Very
odd.
odd, yeah.
I don't think he has that authority. We have an attorney, the town attorney,
Well, we'll look
that
into
knows that, but I think,
It's a tenant matter where they are enforcing their rules and regulations against players or associates of the league. Now, we can investigate it, we can determine whether it's correct or not, but at the end of the day, this seems more like a league issue with the player or associates.
I feel like is it directed towards the parent or the children?
No, he named all my grandchildren on this
The question
letter.
also, Joe, is going to become, what is the definition of premise?
right.
Okay?
Exactly.
If the kids are in the east side parking lot in the front doors of the center, no, Mr. Akins has no authority to call the chief and have them removed from there. If they're on the Don Weiss family football field,
Correct.
that might be a different
guys.
story.
Correct, but
let's
What
let Joe.
I'm gonna caution everybody to do is, come to the town before you come to a public meeting and address it with the town manager or address it with the town council. Just don't blindside us at a meeting.
Well, because it had the Merrillville Pop Warner.
A lot
Well,
of
it's
things are called
Merrillville.
Maryville. That's not,
No, there's,
yeah, we don't.
I'm not a lawyer. All I know is that anything
either.
that happens within the confines of Merrillville, this town council has some say-so over it. So I'm not,
not necessarily.
Well, Mr. Bugs,
the
we'll look
town
into-
manager is my alum. We got our masters together from Indiana University.
That's great.
Very good friend of mine.
Go IU.
But I didn't know the process. The process, all I know is when I see Merrillville, I come to you all.
Okay.
Right.
Since
But
this
thank
being
you,
so
thank you for letting
egregious,
us know about it.
We're definitely gonna look into it.
Yes.
well, I certainly would appreciate it, and I think this letter should be withdrawn immediately. And you should have him to remove Merrillville from Pop Warner.
Well, we can't really do that, yeah.
Well, if he's gonna use the town's name, then the town's gonna be responsible for any kind of litigation. That's the way I would see it. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
But you did say Merrillville Pop Warner.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Town Council. My name is Jason T. Whitaker. I'm from 7466 Hendrick Street, Mrs. Margie Uslack's ward. I'm here to address 3 issues. Those 3 issues have to do with police, job searching, and recreational activities. I'm having some trouble in my area when I go shopping at gas stations and at the grocery store of harassment. There are people switching up my groceries in my grocery cart, and I'm also having people break in my home and switch my food. I don't know how to remedy that situation. My refrigerator's always open. Excuse me. So, when I say my refrigerator's always open, I mean, I put the food away and I leave, I go do some work at home at my home office, and it's open, and the food's open and it's spoiled. And I'm on a very, very limited budget because I'm a self-supporting sole proprietor of my architectural business. And I'm very limited in funds. So I have to value shop, and when I value shop, I get harassed because I have no idea why I get harassed at the gas station or at the supermarket. I got kicked out of Speedway by my house where I walk to. I've been walking there for 5 years. It takes me about 45 minutes to get there. My feet are extremely sore. And I was accused of stealing there by a manager, by a female that's been there for 5 years. 3 years ago, she pulled a gun on me, working behind the register, and she told me she was gonna blow my brains out if I didn't leave. So I called Speedway Inc. 21 times to have corporate address that issue. They didn't. They fired her, and I started coming back there, and then they accused me of stealing, and they kicked me out. They told me not to come back there ever again. The Luke down the street by my house also kicked me out. They called me a child molester. So I have to walk all the way from Margie's ward on Hendrick Street by Whitcomb Terrace and Speedway all the way to Meyer every single day. It takes me about three and a excuse me. It takes me 3.5 hours to get there, and 3.5 hours to get home. And I walked here every time, so that's one issue, is the food. The second issue is trying to get a job. I went to Salvation Army. I went to Family Dollar store. I went to Lick and Go. I went to Walter E. Smith to be a designer, a head designer, because I have 120 credits at Purdue, Ivy Tech, and Triton College in Chicago, Illinois. And I have a 5.0 GPA in design and engineering. And I've been looking for a job for 15 years. And my parents won't give me a vehicle. They won't help me one bit. And I live at home with them because when I was 27, I was put in jail for cocaine use, and I've been clean for 2.5 years. Had one relapse, so that's another issue, and I need a detective to talk to because of my ties with gang activity since I was 13 because
Jason, I'm going to have you talk to
Thank you.
Officer Minchuk, okay? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Town Council, audience. My name is John Ruscosi. I am a homeowner at 2949 West 76th Lane. And I want to address an issue that I came across last year. Last summer, I contracted with New Concept 66 Incorporated to pour a new driveway and patio. An upgrade I expected to cost about $10,000 and would enhance my home's value. I've been a resident of Merrillville since 2015. The current home that I am in is my very first home that I purchased at 27 years old, something that I am very proud of.
Yeah.
In Merrillville, a contractor's license is needed to obtain a building permit. And I'm very well aware of all of the rules and regulations that the town has. I relied on the town's building department to review the insurance and qualifications of the contractor I ultimately hired. When the work failed inspection, I went to the building department and discovered their insurance had been canceled 2 months before they applied for the license. Yet the town issued both a license and a permit. I learned that the staff does not verify the validity of the insurance certificates presented by potential contractors. I actually called the insurance company, and it took me about 5 minutes to find out that that insurance was canceled. That trust but don't check approach left me exposed and leaves every homeowner in Merrillville vulnerable to these unscrupulous contractors. What should have been a $10,000 project has now turned into a $40,000 nightmare, and I am still fighting litigation both in civil court and trying to find this contractor. Luckily, by the grace of God, he was arrested for another offense that my attorney has found. So we're pursuing litigation that way. Even worse, most homeowners' insurance policies typically exclude faulty workmanship from your homeowners. So families like mine have no recourse when contractors deliver shoddy work under a town permit. And here's the worst part, it's incredibly easy for this to happen again. Any contractor can submit an expired, inactive, or even fake certificate, secure a town permit, and do substandard work, and then disappear, leaving homeowners on the hook for massive repair bills and diminished property values. It's literally what happened to me. Tonight, I speak not just for myself, but for every homeowner unaware that this gap exists in our permitting process. And I want to be absolutely clear, I am not attacking the town or Ms. Shine or any department. I'm a very pragmatic person. I'm a high school educator. I teach CTE courses. I did 10 years teaching in Merrillville, and I have 5 years teaching in Illinois right now. And I am also a member of the Indiana Air National Guard. So I am very familiar with following rules, regulations, proper procedures. One of the things I always tell my students is don't underestimate human ingenuity. We put astronauts on the moon with the power of a solar calculator. The response that when I gave suggestions to the building department is, well, why couldn't we call, or it takes 5 minutes. They said they just get so many licensing applications that there's no way to do that. I think we could probably put our heads together and find a solution to this, because if it happens to me, I'm sure it's happening to other people throughout the town. And I would hate to have any one of you have to go through that same situation, just so we can improve our homes and hopefully bring in more revenue to the town. So thank you very much.
Mr. Wiskowski, who was the contractor?
The contractor was New Concept 66. The owner of that company was Kevin Donslet. And what happened was the contractor that I hired, his name is Jordan Castellanos, which I know the town is very familiar with. They've been trying to get him for a while, according to Ms. Shine when we last talked. He actually has been going around, and I guess Kevin is a friend of his, and he used his business. And Kevin actually came out and saw the work that he did and was like, can't believe this guy did this to me. So there are definitely some gaps in our process that we need to put our heads together and solve this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Smith. I am piggybacking off of what my father said in regards to Merrillville Pop Warner. I know you all don't really take issue nor care in regards to Pop Warner. The last time I was here, I was viciously rushed off before I can get my point across. It was in regards to why Merrillville Pop Warner was not included in the parade. You particularly gave me about 2 seconds where everyone else was able to talk for 5 minutes. Nevertheless, I have 2 things to clarify. What I found out in that meeting is that it was because of Will Atkins' lack of not turning in paperwork, is what I found out from other people. Will Atkins is the current president of Merrillville Pop Warner. So if you are going to lease to anyone, I would suggest that you know who you are leasing to, what their rules and regulations are. I have not broken any rules or regulations. This is a personal matter. Everyone that knows Merrillville Pop Warner knows me. 90% of my wardrobe is Merrillville Pop Warner. I no longer want to represent it. I no longer want to participate in it because of Will Atkins' behavior, his decisions, his unprofessionalism. I personally said I would not step back on. I said my children would not participate. I was told to write a letter that 2 of my children were not safe enough to play on the field because they're 5 and they're pretty much slow and dumb. My one son got a concussion immediately on the field at the Barbara Dean Center. He had absolutely no clue, and I'm still paying the bills on that. I'm sure you don't know about that, but that might have been something that I could go and I could go after you guys, because you guys leased to Merrillville Pop Warner. It shouldn't have been done. Long story short, I personally have not done anything wrong. I have attempted to file a police report here at Merrillville, because I don't know what to do. So that's why I'm here. That's why I tried to file a police report. It was not accepted. So to clarify, I don't care to step foot on Barbara Dean Center ever again. But I just told my children, particularly the twin, I have 2 sets of twins. They play football, and my daughter she's a cheerleader. They still have family and friends that play for Merrillville. When I told him that he is trespassed and a police officer will take you off of the Barbara Dean Center from sitting in the bleacher cheering on your cousins and your best friends, he broke down and cried. It's not fair, Mommy. So what I'm asking you is to please know who you are leasing to. Please know the rules and regulations. It is not valid. There is no probable cause for what he has done. I don't care what he does to me. He has done a lot to me. Merrillville Pop Warner has done a lot to me. I feel like everything falls on deaf ears. When I come here, there are very few people that actually did care and stopped me when the meeting was over, and I do appreciate them for that. But I represent Merrillville to the fullest, like I said, For children my children's age, there are no programs until they get to MIS. So Pop Warner was a big thing. So if I do send them anywhere else, it's gonna have to be at another city that I do not belong to, but that I'm going to have to represent. And I think that's really sad. But to see my children cry because they can't sit in the stand and cheer their former teammates on, they talk to them all the time. They go to school with them all the time and cheer on them that they will be arrested by the police. It's not fair. And it's very much uncalled for. So I do ask you to look into it. And when you do, please ask what my children's, what our, for lack of a better word, what we did. What were our infractions, according to Merrillville Pop Warner? Because I've taken it to the league.
Were you told what the children did or what you did?
No, sir.
Okay.
And I am trying to take it up with Merrillville Pop Warner above. Like I said, I tried to do it here, so I don't know where to go because it says Merrillville, so I don't know where to go. So I'm assuming that Merrillville Pop Warner, you would come to Merrillville here to deal with Merrillville things. So you're telling me that I don't. So even though this is in order, it's not notarized or legal, I'm not gonna let my children go. It's going to break their hearts. And I will not have them pulled by any police. I don't need that done. I don't need that core memory put into them, but just the fact that they know that they can be arrested if they step on foot of Barbara Dean is sickening for you to even allow someone to do that.
Before you leave, would you give your contact information to Mr. Griffin? And then Mr. Griffin and Mr. McCartney, I'll let you pull the paperwork, what we need for this, and give it to Mr. Svetnoff, and Sean and I will look into this.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you, ma'am. If there's no other announcement, or public comments, announcements are the next council meeting is May 13th at 6:30, and with no objections, I will adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.
So he
Thank you.
was one of those people.